Oh, hey, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So, in today's video, we are going to discuss about Kubernetes and what is Kubernetes, why Kubernetes. So, guys, have you ever wondered how production grade application are managed by the company, how they are update and upgrade their deployments and their applications? So, the guys, there is a tool which helps to do and orchestrate all of the deployments and change and the upgrades, you could say that. So this is the Kubernetes. It is a container orchestration tool which is help to orchestrate or manage your containers at the high scale. It has lots of features like the scaling and the management, healing, self-healing. Like we have lots of thing available in a Kubernetes. And so this is the Kubernetes architecture, guys. You could see that. So in a Kubernetes architecture, we have mainly two parts. One is a control plane, and the second part is a worker node. So control plane, it is a brain of the any Kubernetes cluster, and these nodes are there for the handling or workloads like or pods and different resources of Kubernetes. So in a control plane, we got a different component like Cube API server, etcd, scheduler, controller manager. So Cube API server, it is an interface and it handles all the requests from within the control plane, and it also handles the request which come from the kubelet, the outside of the cluster, which is a worker nodes. And the 8CD, it is a database which manage all the configurations and the different datas of the node. And the scheduler, it helps to schedule the pods across the worker node, and also it's check the availability resource availability, and accordingly it assign the pods to the particular work worker node. And now we are having controller manager. So it is a module, or you could say that this part of Kubernetes handle the management of the state. So it manage the state of the Kubernetes deployment. Like suppose while deployment we have our replica set to, so it continuously check and measure that particular configuration if the some pod are crashing. So it control that pod and make that pod available according to the desired state. And now comes to the worker node. So here we got a multiple components, and so kubelet. So kubelet, it is a part of the sorry, not the part. Kubelet, it is a tool and it is a module that helps to interact with the control plane and get all the configuration and communication. And here another is a kube proxy. So kube proxy handles all the networking thing which is going to be handled by the Kubernetes, or either it could be a like NodePort service or load balancer. And the last but not the least, here we are container runtime environment. So either it could be a Docker or container D, whatever, according to the different configurations of the Kubernetes cluster. And we could add multiple worker node according to our workload. So guys, this is about the complete architecture of Kubernetes. And now let's talk about this thing, the cloud control manager. So that is a different thing which usually configured by the managed Kubernetes service. Like we have EKS or Elastic Kubernetes Service or AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. So now let's talk about our Kubernetes installation. So in this video, guys, we are going to install Kubernetes and deploy one application. So I'm going to also introduce about the kubectl and the Minikube. So the guys, Minikube and the kubectl, it is a Minikube. It is simply a minimal version of Kubernetes that give a flexibility to run your Kubernetes on your local system. You don't have to provision your Kubernetes on production grade resources. And the kubectl, it is a command line utility which is helpful for communicating with your cluster. So whatever the commands you want to give to your cluster, you could have to use kubectl and followed by your configuration or your followed by your commands. So this is the things, and it is very helpful. Like you could say that the Minikube, it is a simple container which gives you flexibility to run your Kubernetes cluster on your local system, and you could use the kubectl to get your work done. And so guys, this is the basic deployment file, how could our deployment should be. And also let's talk about what is deployment. And so the deployment, it is a, you could say that, uh, uh, sorry, a deployment, it is a blueprint of any application. Suppose this is the basic configuration of the deployment. So you could see that here we have created a front-end application, which is named as the devops log. And now here we have defined the deployment name. So our deployment name would be a blog deployment. And here we have also assigned these blog labels. So these labels are used to get your configuration, like while matching the labels. So suppose you wanna create some resources to, you could just get the this labels from that application. And here we have two replicas. So it means once we deploy or once we made the this deployment, so we got a two instance of our application, or in simple, we got a two parts or our application. So this is about our deployment file. We'll cover this thing, the deployment service, in detail in upcoming videos. And now let's get started with the installation of Minikube and the kubectl, and followed by we are also going to deploy our own application. So yes guys, now you could go to any browser and search for Minikube, and here it's taking bit of time. Maybe my internet is bit slow, I guess. Okay, here we get this thing, the Minikube start Kubernetes. So I don't know why it's taking time. So yes guys, we got here our Minikube. And before installing Minikube, we have to install the kubectl. It is a command line utility to communicate between our Kubernetes cluster. So guys, we have to also install this kubectl install. So let's talk about our Minikube. So the minimum resource you require for running this Minikube, it is just two vCPUs, or either two CPUs, two cores of CPUs and 2 gigs of RAM, and you have at least 20 gigs of storage on your storage device. And that is a basic thing, I guess, like you guys having that is a minimal requirement for running this. And now I think so our page is load. Yes, it is there. So now I want to install kubectl on my Linux Ubuntu. So here I'm going to use this the complete package management. So here I'm going to use this method, the package management method. So here I'm going to add this repository to my Ubuntu systems. And after that, all the things are going to be handled by this. I don't have to manually update and upgrade. So that is the beauty of doing your things uh, completely. And here, sorry. So here we have our, I just have to give my password. Now it's installing. So meanwhile it's installing, we could just go further and look for what we are doing. So here we are updating our system, and after that we are going to install some packages, the apt transport, HTTP, and certificate, CA certificate. And after that we are going to get the GPG keys here. So we could also copy this thing simply, and let's see where we are. So now still our configurations are installing, and we got some issues which is not related to our kubectl. It is related to the Brave browser. So let's see. It's depend like how fast your internet is. And okay, I think so it is installed. Yes, it's done. We got here latest version, and now we could move. Okay, sorry, we could just make the copy from here and just paste here. It is prompting. Now we have added the GPG keys, and we are good to go. Now it's time to get the kubectl on our system. So here it is. These are the commands. First, it is going to update the repository, and after that, it is going to install the kubectl. So here it is installing. You could see that. Meanwhile, we could copy some commands to check like we got the latest version and what are the versions we have of kubectl. Here it is. So we got the 1.35.0 and the customized version is 5.71. So now move forward with the installation of Minikube, and you could say that our Kubernetes cluster. So here is the command, and here is the complete command, you could say, to install Minikube in our Linux system. So you just have to copy this command and paste here. And it would also take a time according to your resource, or you could say your system configuration and or your internet speed. So let's wait a while to install, and we could just get some command here. Let's see, like this command is used for start the Minikube. So it would start our Minikube cluster, and this is the kubectl gates. These are the commands you could see, and you could also create the alias if it is not working properly on your system. So usually it works, and right now we are here. We get a service, load balancer, and ingress. We'll cover all of those things in later videos, no worries for that. And these are the command which is going to use to pause or cluster and unpause and stop the Minikube cluster. So right now we are here. I think so our Minikube cluster is done, and it's ready to deploy some application. Minikube status. Okay, now we have to first start our application, or you could say that our Minikube cluster. So I just have to copy this command from here. Now it's starting. So guys, the architecture of Minikube cluster is it contains their own Docker daemon, and under that Docker daemon it is running the containers. So if you don't understand, so no worries for that. Like it is not a very big deal to understand because it is not going to be used in the production. Production have the simple configuration because lack of resources we are using Minikube. So it would take a time because it is around 4.8. It's not, it's 488.52 MBs. So yes, let's see. Now we got our 120 MBs. Now it's downloading and pulling the image. Let's wait for the download and the provision or Minikube cluster. So meanwhile, let's discuss the application. So guys, this is our application. I just created a blog page where we are going to deploy this on this cluster. So it is a JavaScript based application, React, and meanwhile you could also see that this is our deployment file and this is our service file. I'll come on the service and deployment file. Meanwhile, just check. Okay, it's about to done. So guys, this is a manifestation of our deployment. You could say that. So this is our deployment name. So each deployment had their unique name, and under the unique name we have provided the label. So this label is used to target and select this application to create some resource and associate those resources like service and load balancer, or in the service we have NodePort service, and also we have cluster IP service. So I'll also discuss what is NodePort and what is a cluster IP service in upcoming videos. And here we have matched the label. We have taken this label from here, and we have also created two replicas of this application. So here are three pods are going to be run by this configuration, and here it is our container name which is going to be pulled, and that is the actual container which is going to be pulled from why after the creation of the container, and this parameter is used. So like what is the meaning of this parameter? If it is a container is present, so you don't have to take the pull from remote repository because we are just learning here. So I don't have created any Docker repository, Docker container repository. So it will probably get from the local because I'm going to create the local image here, and here we are a NodePort service. So this is a NodePort service which is going to be expose our application from outside of this cluster. And for inside of the cluster, we have cluster IP. So I don't have created those configuration because right now we are just making the tutorial to get how to provision Minikube and deploy an application. So yes, let's get started. So yes, guys, our Minikube is up now. We could also check by using Minikube. Sorry, Minikube status. So now, yes, our cluster is up and running. We could also run kubectl get pods. So yes, right now we don't have anything in our default namespace. I'll also explain what is namespace in upcoming videos because it has a lot of thing to explain. So guys, our complete cluster is up and running. You could see that, and you could also use this tool. It's called Kate Studio. So let's see, like I should have to again So now you'll see the GUI and the GUI configuration of our cluster here. So this tool is help us to see what are the cluster configuration we have right now. So under the visualizer, you could see. So yes, so this is our Kubernetes, and these are the internal service of Kubernetes. You could say that, and this is the default namespace in under the kube system. And right now we don't have any workload. And guys, now move forward with creating of workload. So yes, we could move with the deployment or fast application. And yes, it is going to be crazy, guys. So here in our documentation, I have added all the things in detail. If you got a time, you could just read. It would probably help you to get the understanding. So guys, I have to execute this command. And if you wanna understand what it is, so this command is going to be set Docker, the Docker internal Docker daemon of Minikube. If you don't understand, so don't have to worry. Just copy and paste for now. I will discuss this thing later because it is bit tricky thing. You could say that. So let it be. Now we could move forward with the installation of deployment. It's not installation, it is a deployment. So before doing anything, we have to create a container. For the creating of container, we have this command, a docker build command. So right now, okay, okay, we are somewhere else. So we could just go to the desktop and then we have, now we could see that here is our files and this is our Docker file. It is going to be taken while creating of Docker container. And again, I have to make the copy from here. So the guys, the command are the Docker build. This command is used for creating a container. If you are, even though if you are not going to use Kubernetes, but still it is going to be used for build the container. And the T parameter is used to tag. The tagging, it means you are naming that container. So we have tag this container by the name of DevOps blog because we have a page which is DevOps blog page, and this latest is, it is also a parameter where we could define different variables, like it is latest or v1 according to your requirement. And this dot defines our Docker file is present in our current directory or current folder. So yes, right now we have this Docker file, and if it is not there, so we have to provide the complete path of this Docker file. So let's get started with the building of Docker container. So now it's building the container. Now I don't think so it would take much time to build. So let's see guys, it's pulling some images from Docker Hub, and once it's done, then we'll get our image for the deployment. Not still it's building, so we could just wait a while. Not copying. So I have also created a multi-stage Docker build to make our image optimized for the production. Now we got our latest Docker container, so you could just check Docker image. So yes, this is our latest page or latest Docker container which we have required for our deployment. So yes, guys, now it's time to make the deployment. So here we have kubectl and we have the configuration of Kubernetes. So we could just apply kubectl apply -f and git deployment. So it is going to be deploy our new application, which is a Kubernetes blog page. I'm sorry, it's I made some mistake. Okay, it is a typo. Cube. Okay, again, what it is? Okay, sorry. Actually, we are doing something wrong. Like this app thing, kubectl apply. It's not. It was not apply. Yes, so our deployment is just created. Actually, guys, I was doing app instead of apply, so that's why we are getting the issue. So now our deployment is created. So we could also check our deployment by using this command kube get. Okay, sorry. It seems like I made some mistake. Let it be, guys. We could just cube get all simply. So here we could see that we have our deployment, this deployment, or blog deployment, and it has a two replica. So you could say that we are running two pods for this application. And right now it is not exposed to the public and for any access because it is just deployed in a cluster and we have not created and we have not associated any service to see our page is up and or not. But here you could see that it is running and it has two replicas. And for this deployment, you could see that also as we have defined two replicas, you could just see that here. And deployments, we have we have added two replicas. So here we are getting two replicas as well, the two. And now it's time to provision our service to expose our application for the external user. So now we are here. It's time to apply. So I have to go to that directory and our service. So now our service is also created. So guys, simply we could just run this command. And now you could also see that this is the new service which we have just created, and this is going to help us to see your application because it is a NodePort service. So guys, simply in short, like in very simple way, NodePort service are used for the external communication of the cluster, and cluster IP it is used for internal communication. So it is only going to be routed inside the Kubernetes cluster, and for external access and for getting external communication you have to create this NodePort service. So this is our deployment. We are two pods, our service is up, and our application is running on a port 80 and it is exposed on a 3 0080. And also this is our replica set, you could say. And now it's time to see our application in a browser. So I have to take IP of my Minikube. So this is the Minikube IP. So you could simply understand this is the IP for the Minikube instance. So Minikube, whenever a Minikube created, it assign an IP. So where we could use this IP to access our application. So this is the IP for our Minikube, and we could just put here. And also now it's time to copy this port. So guys, now you could see that our application is live right now, and we have successfully deployed our application. First, we have installed the Kubernetes cluster, and after that, we have deployed this application, this beautiful application. And so that is it, guys. And you could just also see the resources inside our this application. So you could just see that this is our application. This is our application which is inside our default namespace. And right now we are running three pods. And this is our service which helps to expose our application. So yes, this is about the video, guys. And let's see. I could explain any of those things. So yes, that is it, guys. So this is the video where you have just seen our complete configuration and deployment of our application. In later video, we'll do some complex projects as well. For now, that is good, guys. If you have any queries and questions and any suggestion, you could just comment. And yes, thank you, guys. Thanks for the time. Yes, bye.